been a very interesting day right from the beginning, from mompreneurs to a session where we spoke about we had a roundtable discussion with all the founders, and now we are moving to the very, very pertinent department that we all talk about all the time. Yesterday also we spoke about the relevance of research and development. That's something Government of India also presses. All the ministries give you many resources to really talk about and develop your research team and thereafter develop the product. We have a very interesting session ahead, which is going to talk about how to innovate to elevate and the role of research and development from its ideation to execution. We have a very interesting set of panel, and the session will be moderated by very distinguished Dr. Prabodh Halde, who is the Head Global Regulatory Public Policy and Advocacy, Marico. May I request you, sir, to kindly join us onto the stage and take over the session.
Thank you, Sushmita ji. Thank you, Kirti, and all the respected delegates of the dais. How was the food? Food कैसा था? Good? बाकी लोगों ने खाना नहीं खाया शायद. आपने खाना नहीं खिलाया, कीर्ति जी? You are not offered them a food? There was a food. Okay, friends, this is very important panel discussion. Innovate to elevate. For this panel, I request my co-panelist, starting with Varinder Jaswal, Senior Director R&D Mondelez. Sir, please. Please give him a big hand. Okay, by the way, we have some prizes, and if you happen to be a good questionnaire, you may get chance to visit his R&D lab and some good products. Then we have Dr. Rahul Rajmane, who is Associate Director, Business Development, Cipla. Rahul, please give him a big hand. And we have Mr. Ashish Vyawahare, General Manager R&D and CQA from Hindustan Foods. तालियां जरा कम बजा रहे हो यार आप, थोड़ा ताली बजाओ. तालियां को टैक्स भी नहीं है, जीएसटी भी नहीं है, सब फ्री है. How many you are from the brand side? Raise the hand. How many are from the third party side? Third party means manufacturing side. How many are actually manufacturing side? Manufacturing side. And R&D? सिर्फ 3 लोग. So बाकी कौन है? So who all are others? Ideation, brand building, wow, very good. I will just give you some numbers. Before COVID, FMCG companies used to spend 1.8% revenue on the R&D, only 1.8%. Post COVID, this number have gone up to 2.5%. Again, we are not very high. I was discussing with my panel members, and 2.5% as per Varinder ji is very good number, but it is subjective. Naturally, Varinder is subjective. But to give the comparison with the pharma sectors, they spend something around 5 times than what FMCG spends. Automobile, mobile, they spend around 8 to 9%. Unless we require innovation and differentiation, R&D is very important. Friends, R&D has 3 aspects. Generally, we call research and development, but actually speaking, there are 3 kind of R&Ds. One is advanced tech. Means you are not working on a product. You are working on something, solution. You are working on a science. You are working on advanced science, which will yield up in the product eventually, but not necessary. Then there is a product development, which we all are known, like product A, product B. And third nowadays is C&D model, connect and develop, where you happen to meet someone and connect and develop and migrate. That is also very good. So all these 3, depending what is your need, but innovation is the key of the R&D. Today we are going to have rubaru with all the 3 panelists, and the theme is about innovate to elevate. Without innovation, we will have an evaporation. If I ask you, what has happened to the companies, Nokia, BlackBerry, or Ambassador car, what has happened to those companies? And what they missed out? What they missed out is the bus, which is a innovation. They missed out that. Now the company, those who are sustained over last 150 years, 100 years, 50 years, 30 years, only one thing is the thank you Dr. Akanksha for getting the goodies for good question, smart question. Now my first, with this base, all my speakers and panelists, I have basic question to you. What you feel about Innovate to Elevate? And today, many startups start the company, but they do not think about elevation. They do not think about scale up. And they enjoy the journey, but they don't do scale up. So companies, those who are stagnated, they do not make enough GC, they do not make enough profit, they do not make enough EBITDA. They cannot contribute a wealth into the society. So passion is passion. You are passionate, but you are stagnated. There is no use then. If you are a startup, please understand you are for scale up. Otherwise, it is a hobby. I will tell you, I support a lot of startups, and there is my good friend. She is having a cake shop, and she every year she plans I will increase, but she is not ready to give R&D to someone. She is not ready to give any activity to anyone. She make herself because she is passionate. The one mistake which startup people do, they are so engraved into the business, सब लोग खुद ही अपने हाथ से करना चाहते, तो delegation is also the art. So R&D, though it is a confidential thing, but many promoters should not mistaken that कि मैं खुद ही करूँगी, खुद ही करूँगा. So this is also one of the myth that founder cannot delegate. You have to delegate and you have to scale up. Scale up is the only thing what one should look at. And if you are not scaling up, somebody was telling me a very interesting thing, Rahul Saab. During COVID time, the Sensex was around 32,000. Today the Sensex is 80,000, which is also deep. तो कितने टाइम इंक्रीज हुआ है? 2.5 times इंक्रीज हुआ है सेंसेक्स. सिंपल सी बात है, अपना बिजनेस 2.5 हुआ है क्या? अगर नहीं हुआ है तो वी मिस्ड आउट द बस, और वी आर नॉट विद द सेंसेक्स कंपनीज. सो दैट इज द growth story of India. Why people are looking at India? Because of the growth story. With this, now I ask, starting with Varinder ji, your opening remark and what do you think about Elevate?
Thank you, Prabodh.
Innovate.
Sure. So I think I will start with very basic. One of my mentors used to say that we are business partners who happen to be scientists and engineers. So I think for technical people, I think that's very first thing to understand, that you can work in R&D, you can work in any of those technical functions, but if you don't enable value for the business, then all that science and technology perhaps is of not much use. And I think that's what Prabodh was also trying to say. How do you scale some of these things? Second thing is, I think on R&D side, how do you enable that value? I think R&D is like one of those functions in the business whose role is very critical. Firstly, to understand who your consumer is. Of course, there is a marketing team, there's a consumer insights team, and there are few functions who also try to understand these things. But R&D is one of those functions who is then able to translate that consumer insight into a language of product design. And that's when then you are able to design products that are superior, products that are sustainable over a period of time, and then you build a competitive advantage for your company. And lastly, I think, again, being business partner, opportunity doesn't last forever. So hence, I think one of the very important aspects in the behavior that R&D need to have to enable the business is agility. So we have to bring solutions fast. Obviously, some of us are very passionate about science, and some of us are very passionate about research. But if that research and science does not translate into a timely solution, even then that's a lost opportunity. So I think that's a role of R&D for the growth of company.
So absolutely, Varinder, but the most important point what you have said, and those who are working in R&D, is that if you do not give the result, it's not a loss to the opportunity, but it's definitely a loss to the service, for sure today. So the R&D is also now equally competitive, and also business is looking at as an enabling function which is for the business growth. Thank you. Very nice points. So to Rahul ji.
Hello. Yes. So
Opening, so whatever you have opening remark on this.
yes. So for me, so I am coming from a typical pharma background, and we have started this new division of Cipla in the name of Cipla Health. And what we are believing in, what Sir briefed, we coined a word, consumerizing science. So what consumer wants, that need to be exactly and exactly addressed through a uh, through an advanced science. So, for an example, cues of working of the product, or cues of, say, for an example, color changing hand wash. So, consumer wants to see the results immediately, and all these things will come only and only through perfect and well utilized use of advanced science in the R&D.
Very well said, sir. I will come to you again on advanced science, but later part. Now to Ashish, sir. You got a very unique experience of both sides, from the basically from being in a brand and also now supplying to the brand. So third party manufacturing to the brand. So, but before coming to the specific question, if anything opening remark to you.
Yeah. So as you said, coming from a brands driven company to an contract manufacturer or execution driven factor or the area of the industry. So the basic difference I feel is about how fast you execute and come to the market, and what is the role of R&D when it comes to contract manufacturing. Right, like what other my co-panelists has said, is basically from an brand owned company's point of view, whereas contract manufacturing, when it comes to, I think the role of R&D is to create, the subject matter here is innovate to elevate. So unless you innovate your product to elevate that product experience in the market, how your product is going to otherwise perform. So what is the role of R&D in creating that innovation in the product to give you a elevated performance or elevated experience of that product, is what the role of R&D all about in when it comes to putting that product in the marketplace as fast as possible. So when it comes to R&D, how do they process this entire innovation into actually making a practical product, putting into the market. So there is a kind of a process that needs to be followed, and we make it as simple as possible so that it comes out faster. And that is, I think, the latter part of the discussion would be about how do we execute it, how do we make it quickly available to the market. That would be the part of next discussion. But in terms of role, I think how you take your product idea to see what is the feasibility of making it in your kind of a setup, and then to make it to a manufacture ready product. That's where R&D actually contribute to.
I think a very nice concept what you gave is about elevation is not only scale up but is also performance, the product performance, and that is the vertical growth and vertical form of the product. Very interesting. So now I'm coming back to the Varinder, and innovation is very mistaken word the people have used. Innovation is not limited to only, so people mistaken innovation or they use innovation as per their suitability. And along with the innovation, if you see the last 5 years, most of the innovation happened in the digital space. Even in the product performance, the product FMCG companies have performed well in digital space. So example of Nike and online portals and all. So the question to you, Varinder ji, innovation as such in R&D, how important is that part? And since you have sustained in your company over 15 years, so it shows that you are innovating, otherwise evaporate. Let me tell you, it's so easy. If you do not innovate, you evaporate. You will not be there next year. and that is a fact. And how digital we should integrate into the to speed up the innovation.
Sure, thank you. So I think you're right. Last couple of years, obviously, well, since 2000s, I think we have seen waves of digitization, and then post-COVID, I think we have seen amplification of the digitization, and we have seen modern day companies actually leveraging technology. I think the recent example is Quick Comb. If you see, we see physical folks coming and going and delivering these things in 10 minutes, but just imagine the tech stacks that are behind this is what is enabling that delivery in 10 minutes. Of course, I mean, India works on a frugality and all that very jugaad mindset, that's definitely there, but I think what's really revolutionizing the business is the digital. Maybe taking it to a little bit into the R&D R&D sphere. Again, I mean, R&D, as I said, it's a very integral part of the whole business, and it can't be possible that all our functions continue to invent themselves, continue to digitize, and R&D becomes a dinosaur who don't know what the digitization is. So I think a lot of companies, and I know a lot of peer companies have started using a lot of technology. Nowadays, there is a AI to even understand the consumer insights, do the social listening. Then you use a lot of virtual reality to do ideation. For sake of example, metaverse 2 years ago was a big thing. Now it has kind of plateaued. But I don't know if anybody knows, other than, you know, being little more glamorous in terms of, you know, doing the environments, but the companies like us, the benefit of doing using metaverse and that virtual environment is, let's say, you know, I want to do a consumer research in Chennai. I can't travel to Chennai, but I can create that virtual environment. So rather than doing that in here, I can do that sort of stuff there. Then obviously you have heard about modeling and simulation. Now again, for everybody, modeling and simulation actually is not new, right? Most of you know about statistics. That's what it is. That's the engine behind it. Lot of these flights, like aeroplane industry or aviation industry, has been using simulators for years and years. I think we are now catching up. So that's exactly some of those sort of, you know, models and simulators FMCG company have now started using. And then I think overall, if you see, there is also a lot of talk about like how these things are going to take away jobs and stuff like that. And of course, I think some jobs are going to become redundant, but they only become redundant if you are not ready to train yourself, right? Because I see digitization as knowledge amplification, intelligence amplification. So just as an example, if our developer had to do 50 experiments in the past, now they can get away with doing 5 experiments because you could use a predictive model, you could use a prescriptive model. Now just imagine how quickly you can get to the market, right? And every step of the innovation, marketing, now there is so much of a digitization. I'm sure some of you guys already using that in your either manufacturing fields or marketing fields or whatever fields. But I think just, and sorry, one other very important thing that has happened over the last 2-3 years. I don't know if you know about this no code, low code. Now, no code, low code is basically, you know, 5 years from here, you needed IT developers to develop some sort of a program. With no code, low code, these things, you can actually develop your own program. So basically, it's almost like a smart automation. All the manual tasks that, you know, we do today, you can automate all that through no code, low code. And no code, low code is almost like, you know, what used to be Excels and PowerPoints 15 years ago when all of this computerization or digitization started. Those things used to be very specific. Remember the days when we used to have one monitor and everybody used to go there? Today, everybody has multiple monitors. So that's what no code, low code is doing. It's bringing that coding into hands of common people and helping you to kind of do a smart automation. So with that, I think there is a lot more opportunity to do productivity. And when I say productivity, it's your work productivity, right? And then that whatever then you save, you don't make people redundant, you add more value, right? You can do more with less resources.
Very interesting, very interesting. I think 2-3 messages what you gave, anyway I will sum up at the end, but the digitalization is something which you cannot stop and you have to adopt only. And it is for what? Value addition and consumer actually enhancement of their experience. Finally, why we are working in FMCG company? It's for consumer. It is not for our own satisfaction, it is a consumer satisfaction. So, Mr. Rahul, the question to you, as you have actually spoken about advanced tech, you are coming from the company Cipla, which is actually in the pharma space, number one, now in the food space. So, in the R&D of pharma and in the R&D of food, so what you see the difference basically? So, advanced tech which you talked about, so can you elaborate that?
See, basically the difference is in food or in OTC kind of business versus pharma business. Consumer is the king. Means we need to follow all the. That's the reason I started my talk with consumerizing science, because it's very important tool which we day to day follow. Each and every consumer insights which we get, it's in a very generic language which we try and decode through a scientific way to convert that message which is given by consumer to develop a product. So this kind of advanced science use we are doing for our latest development of the product. Secondly, as everyone on the dais is talking about, either innovate or you need to get evaporate. So for the great innovations, I think there is no option without having a science help backup. So that's the key message I want to deliver.
Very good. Rahul, thank you for that. Ashish ji, you have experienced India, you have spent good time abroad and you have seen both the worlds. Now today what is happening, friends, particularly the business is being handled by the management and MBAs, and the cost cutting is increasing. And first thing is that manufacturing, R&D, quality, regulatory, इसको कट कर दो. Marketing spend you cannot. So पहला तो है 10 रुपए का है को 2 रुपए में मिलेगा क्या? Because that is our mentality. So frugal innovation, what you said. In this atmosphere, and when you are now at this part of catering to the brands, what is the message you want to give? Because open up. Ki, boss, everything is not about cost cutting. Some part, why you give outsource is not because of you want to, because your cost will be higher, their cost is less. I think let's accept third party manufacturing people are more skilled to do that job better than you. Accept that. You may be brand, you are better in the market, but we are better in the field of manufacturing. So we have chosen that manufacturing is now the art, is a science, and now coming to the third party R&D is also the art and science. So can you throw light and speak up to the brands what are expectation from third party manufacturing R&D specs?
Yeah. So rightly said.
थोड़ा सा पास.
Yeah, you rightly said, worked on both sides. So when it comes to brand, the marketing giants that they want to put the brands in the market, and the first thing that is given to any company, or the aim of the company is to elevate their profits. How do you do that? By cutting the cost, cutting down the cost, and then also increasing their profits. So to gain that profit or to cut down on the cost, as you rightly said, the first thing will come to mind is how do we cut down on the basic or ingredients of the cost. One is R&D, regulatory, or maybe quality control systems which comes in for manufacturing. But these are very important aspects of any product to succeed in the marketplace at first place. So over a period, what has happened is the bigger companies or the brand driven companies, they are trying to do that cost cutting. I mean, while we say cost cutting, it's not about cutting down on quality. So you have to maintain the quality, but at the same time get the product at a lower cost. The new solution to that, or a trend that is going towards, is let R&D or a product development be done by some outsource agencies. So you cut down on your time, and that is the big benefit which comes out of outsourcing the product development part of it, is to cut down on cost, cut down on timing, cut down on your liabilities that you hold while you're developing the product on your own. And that is how you get into outsource R&D or outsource product development. What benefit that brings, of course, apart from the cost, is also speed to market. So that is where you actually get benefited, the brands get benefited, that you get a faster innovation done, get that product faster into the market, and then be first in the market, or you get that advantage of being first mover. So those are the benefit that comes when you outsource that. I think that is being realized more and more as we go along, and that is where I think the outsource R&D works to the benefit of the brands.
Thank you, Ashish ji, but it is a very big threat to the R&D. What will happen to the R&D and everybody sort of outsourcing? You want to answer this?
Yeah. I think sometimes this is something called, I think, protectism, and I'm not in favor of that. I think sometimes
You have to balance up.
Other people can do few things better than us, right? If I know that there are people out there, which is called open innovation, by the way. If we know that there are people who can do things faster than us, better than us, I would rather, go to them, and then, as they say, time value of money, I rather save on time and get to the market first.
वीरेंद्र जी मन में ले लिया और आपने मन पे मत लो यार. It's okay. He has put his point, but absolutely right. It is a value proposition. It is not about when to buy a car or when to use Ola. That is a value proposition. You have your own car, but you also use the Ola. Absolutely right. So Ashish ji, point taken. But what Ashish ji is trying to say is that also the model is available. And Virender ji, the point taken from you and Ashish ji, digitalization and open innovation has actually democratization the knowledge. Earlier, knowledge used to reside only with the few brands, few companies. Today, it has been Go to this. Actually, I have visited few of the stalls, and the amount of clarity and the product performance is amazing. I was really shocked to know how come you know all those things. I think it is the digital. Everything is available, and very great utilization of that particular knowledge, science into the product performance. Amazing thing. It is entrepreneurship. Friends, we got a lot of gift, and it's all about your smart question, and I am going to decide if you will eligible to get these awards and these gifts. So please ask the question, and very specific to any of our. Can Akanksha help to circulate the mic? Yeah. Introduce yourself and ask the question. Sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Amit Gupta. I work with LT Foods. So my question is, today as a startup, if I start a startup and if I want to launch a brand, then I can meet any of the contract manufacturer and I can make a peanut butter. If I want to launch a medicine, I can again meet a contract manufacturer, I can launch a paracetamol in my name. So I can launch Amit as a brand and it can be a paracetamol medicine, right? So do you think this is a risk for the organizations who has done so much R&D in the product to make all these products? So as a startup, I can reach out to contract manufacturer and I can launch a Me Too product. So are we stretching the democracy too much by making all these things so easily available? And number two, in this scenario,
Sir, gift एक ही मिलने वाला है. आप 4 क्वेश्चन पूछेंगे.
And in this scenario, the investments in the digitization of channel engagement, like you talked about quick commerce, and also marketing spends are more important for an organization than investment in R&D. Yeah.
So you want to take?
Sure.
Very interesting. What is your name, sir?
Amit Gupta.
Amit ji. Haan.
Thank you, Amit. I think a very wonderful question, and again, I think I see that very positively. And going back to, I think, what Prabodh started in terms of the innovation, I think this is actually great because this is bringing more and more competition plus innovation, and that's is good from consumer perspective. If you think that is bringing competition and hence for a lot of these things are getting commoditized. Of course, there is a risk. See, a larger company can survive this risk. A promoter probably will run out of money with this commoditization. So I think the long-term game is about sustainable advantage. You can go to a manufacturer, you can make a me too, but that me too will only last forever. And that's where I think the brand comes in, that's where proposition comes in, and that's where your, brand loyalty. I mean, if you see, again, I don't want to quote example, but there are a number of big brands where, a lot of incumbents have come in, but of course they have threatened them, they have taken maybe a marginal market share, but eventually it's the product and the value that you are creating for the consumer. And if your product, basically if a startup's product is better, of course consumer is going to move. And I think that's where, those blue ocean marketing strategies and all those sort of things come into play. So I don't see that as a threat. I think competition is always good for consumer and for market. I think it inspires more innovation.
Very good. You want to add?
I have a different take, Mr. Amit, on this. Say, when you are saying that whether it is peanut butter or a paracetamol, I think it's about getting elevated. So, let's say Nokia was there for 25, 30 years in the market without doing any innovation. After a while, it becomes a commoditized completely. Everyone was making a similar kind of mobiles or similar kind of paracetamol. Let me take your example. So unless you elevate your experience or create a differentiation in the market for companies to stand will not be there. So let the commoditized product be me too product kind of thing, and you move ahead with innovations. And that's, I think, the progress that everybody as a mankind also will have to do.
So Amit ji, very good question. You are from which place? Amit Gupta? Delhi only?
Prabodh.
Oh, very good. Amit ji, you can come and please
Prabodh
collect
ji,
your...
1 second.
Sorry.
I just...
Amit ji, हमारे तीनों आपका क्या क्वेश्चन है यार?
Because he took
हाँ,
a
बोलो,
name
बोलो.
of paracetamol. That's
अच्छा,
the
he
reason
is-
I want
yeah.
to really pitch in here. So, Amit ji, it's all depend on you. Say for an example, if your internal R&D function having a product with some differentiated factor, for an example, for paracetamol tablet, if your R&D guy says, I am having a product which start releasing the drug within 5 seconds, and other market doesn't have such claims, what will be your choice in this? So that's
आ जाओ भाई अमित जी. Sir, आशीष जी, if you can hand over to Amit. ताली बजाओ यार. देखो, we are honoring the question here. This is the change in the format. और अमित पोज भी दे रहे हैं, ऐसा लग रहा है कि the speaker. Please sir, I understood. We understood. Great. Yeah, Mr. Kulkarni. Sorry, he has raised the hand.
I'm Rajiv Kulkarni. I work for Marico. So my question is, in this digital era, the product life cycle has gone down significantly. And one of the reasons he was highlighting is generalization of the products and everything. My question specifically to Mr. Ashish is, like you were endorsing that the third party and everything, the connect and deliver kind of a model is more prone to succeed in this kind of a thing. But when the product life cycle is going down significantly, how are you coping up with the innovation? Because you have to give something differentiated to every player or every person or every organization that is coming to you. So how are you handling that?
Thank you, Raju. Ashish ji?
Yeah, so that's the expertise, or that's the advantage that I think the outsource R&D or outsource manufacturing brings on the table. The faster you move, faster you get into the market and bring in that differentiation, the rate of success or the chances
Raju,
of
आगे आ जाओ.
success go ahead.
You qualify to be.
Go up. That's how I see it, because unless you innovate or unless you create a differentiation, and the faster the one, and the chances of success.
Basically, you are saying speed up, and then you are skilled enough to speed up, and you also can do that fast. Please, Raju, collect your gift. Thank you. Please give him a big hand. Yeah, we have. We'll also go for some, we have to balance out male, female also. All are only asking the... Sir, you please introduce yourself and...
My name is Aditya and I'm in the process of launching an FMCG brand. So I have a question which I feel a lot of startups or people who are in the process will resonate with. Now, since I visited this fair, now I'm seeing that there are a lot of competing contract manufacturers who are doing the
Same product.
Same product. For example, like Mr. Amit said, paracetamol or whatever, some soaps or fragrances. Now, if I have to ask the panel that I as a brand, my core strength say is marketing. Now I have to outsource my R&D and product development to a company who I will choose from the people who have exhibited over here. What decision making factors should I keep in mind when outsourcing my R&D or innovation? Because I as a brand, I'm not very skilled with R&D and innovation. That is why I'm going to a contract manufacturer. But when I have 10 to choose from or 5 to choose from, what are the key points that I have to sort of consider apart from the price point that that enables me to go forward with one particular R&D team or a manufacturing team?
I think I will answer partly and then any one of you can add on. So Aditya ji, the price point is definitely the startup, because I support a lot of startup and mentor them. I've seen the only one thing which they look at the price. Unfortunately, that should not be the only one.
Yes.
Other point, what generally looking at any partner, whoever is doing that manufacturing and R&D, you should see that what are their value system. Very important. When you are marrying with someone, you will not look at only the finance. You will also look at the value system. कुंडली check करते तो क्या check करते हो? Value system check कर रहे हो आप. Whether what you believe is correct, whether they also believe is correct, or they only look at चलता है. Look at their past experience, how many court cases, how many things on them. Like I know some of the companies very good on the market, but a lot of pending cases of pollution controls. So these are not the good things, because suddenly the plant will get shut. So look at the references, value system and the name in the market. They may be small, but their name is very good. And look at the promoters or look at the startup team, what they are, who are those people. I think these are the few points one should. Not looked only at the cost. Cost is one aspect, but not the only. If you ask your finance guy to negotiate, he will only come with the best at GC. But look at other value system. Who are the promoters? What are their number of overall years, experiences? Take the references.
So the infrastructure you're saying?
Absolutely. Everything. Infrastructure is a physical. There are tangible, non-tangible, other things. How their people, what they think about, and their names, and who are the people behind it. Unless you want to add anything.
Yeah, I think you covered mostly, but I guess you're trying to build a brand, right?
Right.
And brands are built on trust.
Correct.
So I think the first thing that you have to really build with whomsoever you want to choose is the trust. And obviously these are the metrics that Prabodh just mentioned. But I think when you're trying to build trust, consumer will buy your product, pay some value, there will be transaction. But at the same time, you want to repeat as well. So you want to ensure that you deliver the same experience every time. And hence, I think quality is a very, very important aspect of this. And quality is delivered through all those things that Prabodh just said. It's not only what they will do on the manufacturing, it's about their reputation as well. It's about many other things, because one day somebody will find out like XYZ brand is being built by somebody else, and whatever equity you would have created will be very quickly depleted. So I think that's
Aditya
what I
ji?
would suggest.
Yeah, so we'll take last one question, but I want somebody from if lady can ask, because at least give that chance or opportunity. Sir, I will come to you. Any lady want, or they don't have any question in the conference? Yes, ma'am.
I had a similar question that, when you come to a fair like this and when you're, still at a very initial stage of starting a brand, sorry, I interrupted between them.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
And, everybody here is providing with an end-to-end solution. So when you dig deeper to know what these guys are doing, so somebody has gotten from pharmaceutical background to cosmeceutical, and the research and development company has now moved to manufacturing, and vice versa. The manufacturing guys also are providing research and development. So the question is quite similar as to what are the key points that one in terms of if I'm starting a skincare brand should look out for, like hire a work with a manufacturing brand who has a strong R&D, or go with an R&D who has a manufacturing facility.
I think obviously.
What is your name?
I'm Jaspreet.
Jaspreet. Yeah.
Thanks, Jaspreet, for the question. I think, Jaspreet, again, same thing. Really depend what you are trying to do. But obviously, if the company has lot more understanding of science and technology versus just mechanizing the process of making it, obviously, I think that will be your better choice, because you know that then you don't have to do the troubleshooting tomorrow. You will basically get an extra value, and you might actually even get ideas out of them, versus somebody who is very good in terms of manufacturing, might have lowest unit cost. However, when things will go wrong, then it's up to you to go and solve. So definitely, I think the companies who are more vertically integrated will provide you better value, but then they will also charge you for that value. So really it depends, like what you are willing to trade off.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Jaspreet, please come.
Yeah, just add on to that, Jaspreet. So one is what Prabodh has said, a background check. I mean, what you and Aditya was asking a similar question. So what do I look for when I come to such fairs or exhibitions? I think what CMPL as an expo adds value is for you guys to scrutinize as to what everybody brings to the table. So one is background check, which is required for anyone. So here you will know what best suits you in terms of execution, in terms of product development, and then bring it to them for product development. So I think when it comes to a brand development or a selection, this is what the value add which comes from the exhibitions or expos like CMPL here.
Sure. Thank
So,
you.
Jaspreet ji, I am also the chairman of Small and Medium Business Trade Association, CSMB, and we are bringing a 5-star rating on the third-party manufacturing, and very soon we are going to launch that. It's like a trip advisor. Based on the experience of the brand, we will be asking them, you rate on 1 to 5 scale on the 5-6 parameters: quality, performance, promises, price, and all. And then annually we will circulate that number, wherein the third party will get that 3.5, 4, and it is independent. And but we are waiting out on the legality of this, because we don't want to go into the legal aspect. But yes, this is one of the very crucial decision of matchmaking. We take a last question, and yes, you both can ask. Okay, no problem. But please be brief and ask the question. Jaspreet ji, please आइएगा.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Pranav, and I've come from Reliance Industries.
Come, just please.
My name is Pranav. I've come from Reliance Industries. So my question is, how do we measure the success of R&D projects which do not show immediate commercial success? And secondly, how do we decide whether we should pivot or we should keep pushing and persevere, or ultimately like pause or shelf the project?
First of all, what is your definition of success? Means
I'm saying if we're not realizing immediate commercial success,
okay,
then how do we measure the other success factors of that project?
so if you are purely want to measure a commercial success, you can simply calculate a number, you will get it to know. Secondly, how much better is your product than the competition? Okay, if you are willing to go into a D2C or e-com business, your product reviews will tell you that, right? If you want to add.
Yeah, I think commercially it's a value exchange that you will create in the market, and if it's not creating a value exchange, then you can have a best technology in the world. Unfortunately, it's not going to be a success. However, I think as an R&D, you don't only enable value for that particular time. Sometimes some products and ideas are ahead of its time. If you read about 3M, they are called, yes, they are called Solventum something. Now they've changed the name. But they have still stayed with their core value, which is solving the problems and maintaining the momentum, because they are, at one time they used to be most innovative companies. And they have patents that they have kind of, used after 7-8 years. And Post-it is one example. That was a glue developed for something else, and then it was used for a Post-it. So sometimes, you do create value, and you might extract that value in over a period of time. So there is no shortcut to these sort of stuff.
I hope this satisfies. Yeah, last question.
Hi, myself Jash Gurnani and I am a student. I wanted to know that in the recent times, companies are majorly built on marketing costs. So what is the better scenario for a person who wants to enter into the entrepreneurial field, to go with the manufacturing side of the business, or to start with his own brand and spend on the marketing majorly?
I actually, your question itself is like little confusing. So you want to establish the company or you want to establish the brand? What is your question?
No, so I wanted to know that you guys being from the major companies, where do you guys see
Asking a career advice.
Career wise, you are saying?
Yeah, like where is the chances of major profitability in the future? Because startups today are majorly built on how much they spend on the marketing.
So that's why I'm confused with, you want to start a career or you want to start a startup?
So can I
Okay.
if I'm wrong, so you want to ask a question whether you want to start a manufacturing company or marketeer
तो स्टार्टअप बोल रहा है वो, स्टूडेंट नहीं, मीन्स उसका करियर नहीं बोल रहे हैं, करेक्ट ना?
या
कहाँ से हो आप?
उज्जैन मध्य प्रदेश.
मध्य प्रदेश. Okay. What is your name?
जश गुरनानी.
So basically, when you are doing a startup, one should look at what are your USP, unique selling proposition. आपकी क्या idea क्या है? Don't worry about manufacturing. And first thing to the startup, money is not your ultimate aim in the startup. Is one of the byproduct of the startup. If you come with the money as in mind, then you are not in a startup. Then you go into the trade. Share में पैसा लगाओ, mutual fund में लगाओ. That is your startup then. Let me tell you, all these third-party manufacturing or brand, they do not invest, they do not do the empire for money making. Money is one of the aspect which is a byproduct. So money is not at all, that's why it's called as a business, it is not a trade. Second thing, it is up to your skill, where you are expertised. What is your expertise? Do you know swimming? Yes.
Yes.
Do you know horse riding?
Yeah. No.
No. So if you don't know, then you better not go there. That's the answer. Thank you. You both come. We'll give you we have gift. Thank you. Friends, it was a wonderful interaction. Please give them a big hand. जोर से तालियां बजाओ. I think to sum up what we talk about, innovate to elevate. Innovation is inevitable. It is a must. And please give it to ma'am, both. Please help them, Varinder ji, and please help. Yeah, please. They don't come. So, innovate and innovation is a must. It is not something as a fancy. And nowadays, everybody talked about cost cutting. I think the word cost cutting should be replaced with the value proposition. It is not about cost. It is about the value. And whether you are in R&D or whether you are in the manufacturing, it is about the value you are putting it on the table. What value you brings into the table? That is the question to be answered. Ki boss, we are dealing with we are doing one business together. What value you are bringing on the table? That is to be answered. Whether you are a manufacturer, whether you are R&D, and liability cannot be continued because of your past experience. आपने बहुत अच्छा प्रोडक्ट बनाया है, वो पास्ट हो गया है, अभी क्या कर रहे हो? And that is a hard question you need to answer. Your past cannot take you to the future, it has taken you to the presence, and that's enough. You have to work again and you have to struggle for your future. Whoever, the big brand also. So nobody can be on the fancy of the past, ki it will take me to the future. Many big companies have lost. BlackBerry is the great example. They were having the highest R&D budget. They were having maximum patents. Just arrogancy in the R&D has created the mess. Because they said that I will create my own platform, like system in the Apple, and they failed to deliver in the time, the question Aditya has asked. So they took 5 years, and by that time somebody has taken up. So where to copy and where to innovate, that also is a balance. Last thing, innovation is not invention. Do not worry about innovation means kuch to bhi alag, not necessary. Little incremental thing is also innovation. Innovation and invention में फर्क होता है. Innovation is a little thing, little change in a manufacturing. When I was in Coca-Cola, the bottle weight was 38 gram. Today the entire bottle weight of 1 liter is 17 gram. Innovation. Earlier हम लोगों के दिमाग में क्वालिटी एश्योरेंस में था, मैं सोचता था 38 का 34 हुआ तो बॉटल परफॉर्मेंस खराब हो जाएगा. I went to Japan and I saw that 9 gram की बॉटल है, and weight of the bottle itself, पानी gives the strength. I never thought water can give strength to the bottle, and जब ये खाली रहेगी तो गिर जाएगी. That is called as the innovation. So innovation is mandate, elevation is scale. If we do not scale, there is no use. It is a passion. You have a passion, but passion and business, these are two different things. I do business passionately, correct, you should do it, but not only so much of involved in the business, but don't see the big picture. Who moved my cheese? You are not aware what is happening outside. Better go outside, see. And one thing which we all have actually missed out, consumer insighting. In R&D, one eye is with the consumer. They are the king, not because they are paying, but they are asking you to change. Better listen to them. I think Ashish has beautifully said, ki unspoken needs need to speak. Thank you all my panelists, Varinder ji, Rahul ji and Ashish ji. Wonderful discussion. And please give them a big hand. फिर से एक बार. And over to Akanksha. Yeah. Sushma. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. I must say that ना केवल आप बहुत अच्छे शोधकर्ता हैं, आप बहुत अच्छे वक्ता भी हैं. Thank you once again. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for our distinguished speakers. And on that note of innovation, absolutely, just on the 25th of November, I mean, Cabinet issued a statement saying that, you know, we have to make India a very robust kind of an innovative center. And research and development comes as a very premier institute. Some of the research centers under the aegis of Niti Aayog has also been established very recently. It's a very recent statement on 25th of November. So great opportunity, and I congratulate CMPL and take a huge pride to be part of them, where we are discussing matters related to research and development and innovation. Imagine Government of India issuing a statement and then we have a conference on it. So a huge round of applause for the distinguished speakers who brought in these matters of great relevance to all of us, and a great round of applause for each of you, please. Thank you so much for participating very well. हाँ, वो अलग बात है, प्रोफेसर हाल्दे ने इसको बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग तरीके से आप लोग के सामने प्रस्तुत किया, because there were some little goodies also given, which was a good idea to get more questions from the audience. In anyways, that's innovation once again. But anyways, we have had a very participating audience since yesterday. Yes, this huge round of applause for that. We've had a very stunning audience where after the lunch break we have a good house, and not just being present here but also interacting with our speakers. Thank you once again. This is the concluding session of our CMPL Expo 2024, the Delhi edition, and we hope to see you next year also. But before we leave, we have to just present a token of love and appreciation to our speakers. May I request Hazel Minez, who is also part of one of the leading ladies of CMPL Expo, to kindly join us onto the stage and present mementos to our honorable speakers on the session. Presenting a memento to Professor Halde, Dr. Halde. Yeah, but doctorate really takes you there. Dr. Halde. Thank you so much, Ashish ji. Thank you so much for bringing your own experiences to the audience. Mr. Ashish, जब तालियां बजती हैं तो पता चलता है कि हम साथ हैं. A big thank you to Mr. Rahul Rajmane. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your thoughts with us. Hazel, may we once again request you to kindly present a memento to Mr. Varinder Jaswal. Thank you so much, sir, for making it so interesting. May I request you all to kindly quickly come forward for a group photograph. In the meanwhile, ladies and gentlemen, we also have amongst us Dr. Kriti Soni, who is the global head and R&D, Health and Wellness, RPSG group, but she's not well today, so she could not participate in the discussion, but she has really wished us well, and she said that anyone who wants to connect can connect offline. Thank you so much for being here. With that, we conclude all our technical session of the CMPL Expo 2024. We have had a huge amount of very innovative thoughts coming in and discussions. Our repertoire has taken a note of each of it, and we would take that as a baseline for us to create yet another interesting knowledge series in our upcoming endeavor in 2025. I hope you stay in touch. And in the meanwhile, please take care of yourself. Go around the exhibition and take a look at what all the exhibitors have to offer. Please take care. I'm Sushmita signing off from the podium and wish you all the best.